Right guys, how's it going? I'm going to start a little series on this channel. It's going to be like a little mini series where I'm going to talk about converting this e-bike into a road legal motorcycle. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of touched on this a little while ago, probably like 2 videos ago, and I kind of discussed the process in the UK we've got where you can actually kind of try and register a motorcycle that you've built yourself. Doesn't matter if it's electric or petrol or anything like that. We've got quite a good scheme in the UK for doing that. And then they basically, you have to take it to a special testing, a VOSA testing place, and they will test the bike out, test its lights and all sorts of things like indicators, brakes, and to make sure it's suitable, you know, to be on the highway. So yeah, and the reason I want to do this is because there's a lot of controversy around electric bikes. I've got a lot of flack for riding electric bikes fast on the road, and I basically want to take it to the next level. I want to be able to ride down the middle of the road with confidence at 30 mile an hour plus on this bike, you know, and know that I'm supposed to be there. I've got number plates on, I've got insurance, if anything goes wrong, I'm covered in that respect. You know, because there's a lot of idiots out there, and it's becoming clear that riding an electric bike around you know, is a pretty dangerous thing. I mean, if you wear a crash helmet, it's fine, you know, but you're still going to come across, probably on a daily basis, you will come across someone that's going to try and wipe you out on the road. A bit like riding a motorcycle. So I want to be able to, you know, be on the road with presence, have indicators on it, you know, brake lights, all the things that you find on a motorcycle, and just basically, you know, ride it properly on the road. So the process in doing this is a bit of a kind of mythical black art. There's a couple of people that have done this already, and I've been speaking to one of them, and he's actually given me a lot of advice. So you know who you are. I won't go into it in the video, but thanks for some help on that. It's good to have someone that points you in the right direction, and I'm sure somebody else will come out in the comments and say, yeah, I've done it, and you know, I've done this, that, and it'd be nice to actually meet other people that have done this process with an e-bike. So yeah, it's a long-winded process, and what I'm going to try and do in this kind of little mini-series is just kind of go through it bit by bit and give you an update, you know, onto where I am with it. And yeah, so if you're not interested in this sort of thing, just skip this video. Next one will be a vlog probably, and it will just, you know, will just be kind of, I'll interweave these into the vlogs. So to start with, what I've kind of been doing is I've been going through, I've got it on my phone, because I just kind of like to keep going back to it. I didn't want to print out this thing. It's kind of like a guide. It's a 200-page guide, and it shows you all the things that they will test when you put your bike through the test. So, you know, it's things like mirrors, brakes, there's just hundreds of things in it. It's 200 pages long, but I will say that actually the more you go through it, on first look you just go, oh my God, what the hell? But when you actually do go through it, you find that there's a lot of pages in here are actually for full-bodied vehicles, like if you're building a kit car, things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is not relevant. So yeah, the first thing you've really got to decide, you know, I'll show you this quickly, I don't know if you can see this, but it's just pages and pages of different things. But the first thing you've got to decide is whether what you want to register it as. Now, I haven't got a full bike licence, I haven't got a full UK motorbike licence, so I can't ride, you know, a powerful motorbike. I've not really got any interest in going for all that now. I've got too many other things on. You might have seen all this crap around here. I'm moving house and all that's going on. So, you know, what I want is a quick, easy solution to just get this thing on the road and get it going. So I've decided to kind of get this registered as a moped. So that allows you to go 30 miles an hour, or 28 miles an hour, something like that. And it gives you like a 4 kilowatt limit. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's not massive. This thing's already running more than that. But I think it'll be fine for that sort of thing. And actually, some of the scooters and the mopeds that I've seen out on the street are actually going faster than that anyway. So, you know, I don't know. Also, there's a strange law in the UK where you don't actually have to have L plates. So the little learner L plates, you don't actually have to have those if you've got a car licence and if you're riding a moped. If you're riding a moped of 125cc or above, you have to do a thing called a CBT, which is another little test, which is actually quite a good one to do because it's very simple. It's like half a day training, and it gives you lots of insights on kind of rules of the road and things that you might have forgotten if you're driving a car every day. You might have just forgotten those things. and that would be a very useful thing to do. But yeah, basically you can ride a moped in the UK without L plates. Don't want L plates on it. It would just look, it's going to end up looking rubbish. So yeah, I've decided to go that moped route, and I think that will be fine. If I want to use it as a bike again, I can just pull the number plates off and you know, just use it as a push bike, you know, on that sort of thing. So I think this is a good way of going a kind of direction to get this thing on the road. So I've decided I wanted to register it as a moped. First thing I came to on this guide was it was saying, so you need to have a VIN number, which is like a vehicle identification number. Now, this frame's from China, the bike's been self-built, it hasn't got a VIN number, so there's no way you can get past that bit. So what I found out is actually if you contact the DVLA in the UK and you say, guys, I've got a self-built motorcycle, hasn't got a VIN number on, I want to register it, help me out. I'll leave the email that I found, which I had to trawl through the internet to find a good email address for the DVLA, because they're it's a government thing, that's just awkward to get hold of sometimes. And I got a response like within 24 hours, and surprisingly, in like 2 days, and this was over the weekend as well, I got a bit of paper which basically tells me my VIN number. So I was really surprised by that. So really quite interesting stuff. And it just basically says you've got to emboss the VIN number on the bike. So you've got to put it on there somewhere. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but the number should be stamped or permanently embossed on the off side of the vehicle in a clearly visible and accessible position by method as hammering or stamping in a way that cannot be obliterated or deteriorate. So, I mean, I wasn't really that keen on having kind of numbers punched in this bike. So I got online and I just ordered this little VIN plate, which was just off of eBay. The guy's very responsive on there. I'll put a link in the description as well for him, but he was very helpful. He just said, yeah, that's fine, I can print you off, I'll stamp one out for you. I'm covering the VIN number because I don't want anyone copying it. But not that you would, but you know, so there's probably some out there that might. But yeah, so you get this VIN number. Interesting, the VIN number starts with DVLA. So yeah, that's kind of not the coolest thing in the world. But anyway, so I'm going to get this attached somewhere on the bike, probably down here. I don't know if you can see this, if the camera can go down there. But I'm going to get it put on. I went to a garage up the road and just said, guys, can you stamp a VIN number on? They look like an MOT shop, proper garage, you know, legit thing. And they said, why do you want to do that? And I think it was kind of like, yeah, we're not really sure. And I said, well, I've got this bike, I've just basically built it, and I want to get this road registered, so can you help me out? Then everybody from the garage just came out and was like, what the heck is that? So we got on to talking about electric bikes for about half an hour, and eventually we came back to the point, and he said, yeah, that's no problem, I can do that for you. Because what you actually have to do is you actually have to get, in the letter it says on the second page, so you need to get the garage to actually confirm it, and they have to put their stamp on, presume like their garage MOT stamp thing. They have to put that on, then you send this back to the DVLA. So I haven't got it done yet, this was a couple of days ago, because I need to fit a side stand on this bike, which is another requirement. So I'm going to work out where the side stand goes and then probably put the VIN number down here somewhere. But they're going to get the plate basically and just rivet it in. So I think that'll be okay. I mean, you know, there isn't exact details to what it is, but if it's permanent on the vehicle, I can't see that it's going to be a problem. But if anyone knows, let me know. And that would be quite useful. So VIN number, once that's done, I'm a bit unclear on the exact process, but I think what will happen is once they get that back from the garage, they'll probably contact me again, or they won't, or they may say it needs to be tested, or I think maybe I will have to actually physically apply for registration using that VIN number, and then another process starts to do that. And at that point they'll probably say, okay, you need to get this bike tested, then I can apply for the MSVA. I don't know, but if anyone knows, again, let me know, because I'm new to this. Nobody's documented this anywhere, so this is the reason why I'm doing it. So meanwhile, I've kind of, you know, while that's been going on, I've been kind of on eBay and on all these different places, and looking through the manual and working out how the hell I'm going to actually do things like headlights, indicators, stand, all these other bits. So I've kind of accumulated a long list of things that I need to get. I've pretty much got most of them now. So just give you a little insight. I won't go into these in detail because I'll do it when I come to it. Headlight, LED headlight that is. So low and high beam. It is proper cool, that, isn't it? Really good. And that's going to look amazing on the front of the bike. I want to make this look good. I don't want to make it look just idiotic with things hanging out and massive great number plates sticking on the back of it. I want to make it look like, because it looks so good now, so good and so clean, it's almost like, why would I bother ruining it? So yeah, that's that. I've got all sorts of different mounts. I've got these indicators as well. Try and find. So these little indicators are really smart. Tiny little indicators. Just to give you no idea on the size of that. It's absolutely tiny, and they're E-marked as well. So this is an important thing, and you've got to make sure most of the things that you get, if you can, are E-marked, especially mirrors, because if your mirrors aren't, like your wing mirrors and things like that, if they aren't E-marked, then you're opening a can of worms, because then they start testing the actual mirror to see if it's got a certain circular size on it and see if like the edges are curved and all sorts of stuff like that. So these are E-marked, so it should be alright. I've had to work out different mounting solutions for these because, there's another rule in here where the indicators have got to be like 240 mil apart. And if you mount them on normal brackets on the forks, front forks, they're not that far apart. So, because everything's motorcycle, this is a lot smaller. So, this is the problem you're going to have. You're going to come across things that just aren't going to fit on a normal bike. So you're going to have to modify things left, right and centre. But, it's kind of what you expect. And I've kind of come up with this rear tail light. This was cheap. This was like 20 quid or something, like 15 or 20 pounds off of eBay, and it comes with this plate here, and it's got lights underneath it which light up the number plate, tail and brake light LED. I haven't tested it yet, so I don't know how good it's actually going to be, but if it works, it's E-marked as well. If it works and it looks bright enough, I think it should be alright. And then I've kind of hashed together these kind of mounts on the back here for the indicators. But what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use this saddle. I've decided I'm not going to bother with the saddle. I'm going to go straight to a motorcycle seat, which Enduro e-bike actually make. You've probably seen it, and it basically replaces this whole section here, turns it into a proper motorcycle seat. So it's going to look properly good. And I'm going to mount that obviously on the back somehow. Haven't worked that out yet. And then the biggest palaver is going to be the wiring, because I've managed to get one of these switches, which is going to go on the side there, and then it's just a wiring nightmare really. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire it all off the bike. I've decided I'm going to just wire the whole thing off the bike, make the complete harness, take a load of pictures of it, document it, try and, if anyone wants to do it, kind of lay something out that people can copy, and then I'll just put it on the bike, because I don't want to do this on this bike right now, because I want to be able to ride it around still. I'm still using it to get about, if I don't want to take the car. I'm going to try and do that harness, and then like in one day, like before the test, or a week before the test or something like that, I'll just fix it all on, and then it'll be good to go. Interestingly, you can actually ride to the testing centre. They allow you to ride to the testing centre without it being registered. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's about it for the moment, I think. There's loads of things with this, but I'm going to go through it bit by bit and show you what I'm actually doing. Hopefully, at the end of it, we will have a road registered e-bike, which will be pretty cool. So that's it for now. Sorry if I've bored you with this. Vlogs will be back, probably next video, and catch you in a bit.